Welcome to the Running Network Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
Hi, welcome to Michigan Runner TV. We're here today with Keith Hanson and Kevin Hanson of Hanson's Running Shop Olympic Development Program. One of the things that makes your program a little bit different than some of the others is Michigan's climate. Kevin, tell us why that's a good idea.
That's a great idea. Michigan's climate. The one thing that happens for us is, I think we so often see people that put themselves in this plastic bubble and they train in a certain situation, and that's great as long as you're going to race in that same certain situation. And so when they ever get inclement weather in any direction, they're in trouble. You know, they go in and they say, oh, it's too hot, or oh, it's too cold. And people from Michigan tend to acclimate pretty well. It's interesting with where we're located because we don't get as much snow as some of the rest of the state does because we don't get lake effect in the Metro Detroit area. We don't get a whole lot of lake effect snow because we're on the correct side of the water. I don't want to say the right side of the water because that'll confuse somebody geographically, but we don't get, and that's more of a problem than the temperature. You can dress for the temperature, and it's really not that cold, and all of our guys that come in from south areas of the country think it's going to be bad until they're here, and they say, oh, that wasn't bad at all.
And on occasion you can be a little bit uncomfortable, but in all reality, training to become a good distance runner, you're trying to train outside of your comfort zone. So weather taking outside of your comfort zone is not a bad thing. That can be very helpful in the training aspect.
So it makes a difference when you get to an actual race, as you did earlier this year, when the Hanson's Running Shop team won the USATF Club Championships, right?
That was a big story. The weather there was a big story, and people were asking, the Sacramento Bee was asking about, how are you going to handle the inclement conditions? It was, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds and extremely rainy, and it was kind of muddy on the course, and we just all smiled. We love it.
We were so happy. Our only concern with going to California was that it was going to be ideal conditions, and with ideal conditions, we don't have any advantage. And so we thought, we needed something. So we were real happy when we saw how lousy the weather by everybody else's standards was.
Well, let's talk about the year 2002. You had a tremendous year this last year. You had championships in almost all the USATF races. Talk about it a little bit.
Well, it's all about development. Some of that's coincidental because a lot of it has to do with how we structure the program. A lot of it is, it's not coincidental that they ran well, but it's coincidental that it would happen always in the U.S. Championships. We point towards some of the U.S. Championships, and then we structure downtime followed by that. It's part of what we believe in. We think that generally people, they ride a wave too long, and they stay with the wave forever and ever or keep winding that rubber band until it eventually snaps. And so our philosophy is to point towards certain things, which enables us a chance to run in some local events as well. This year we ran in Crystal Lake, and which is just a great team event. We ran at Allen Park. We ran at the Turkey Trot, and you want to talk a little bit about those, Keith?
Well, certainly in the same thing you were saying, it allows us to allow our athletes to peak for the big events by focusing on segmenting our seasons, and we certainly have been successful at being ready at the right time. However, the right time for us is 2004. So this is all preparation for being ready for 2004. Obviously, as an Olympic developmental program, we want to make sure that we have athletes that are ready to step on the line in those Olympic trials and do really well at that point.
We have lots more to talk about. The Hanson's Running Shop Olympic Development Program. We'll be right back after these messages.
Running Fit, serious footwear for serious events. We look at your feet, your goals, then fit you in the right shoes. Go to runningfit.com to find one of our 7 Michigan locations.
Welcome back. We're here with Keith Hanson and Kevin Hanson talking about Olympic development. Keith, you're going to tell us about your involvement in some of the things like the Detroit Turkey Trot and the Crystal Lake Team Marathon.
We certainly like to participate in some of the fine runs we have in the state of Michigan, and we try to schedule that in the guys' schedule when appropriate. And certainly the Crystal Lake Marathon was a wonderful event, a real fun event. Guys enjoyed doing it, real competitive over there, racing against some of the former Rockford runners in Dayton and Ritzenheim and Jason Hartman, and gosh, just fine competition out there. And we go down to the Turkey Trot where the same thing. We get some fine runners that'll run down there, and it's a great event. They have fun and participating in very much a part of the local community. The Crim race in Flint is another wonderful event. And you got the U.S. 25K championships over in Grand Rapids, and we try to participate in as many of those things that fit our schedule that makes sense for the rest of the groups.
Well, I know some of the other local runners say, uh-oh, I'm not going to win this race. The Hansons came to the race. This is all pointing toward the Olympics, 2004. What do you see happening in the next 2 years to have someone make the team?
We're dealing with youngsters here. We really are. Most of our kids are 22, 23 years old, 24, 25. And so we're, 2004, we would like to have someone in the USA Olympic uniform. 2008, we hope that people in the world know who we are, and not just people in the United States. You know, we're happy now that people in Michigan know who we are, and people in the United States are starting to learn. So, but we realize that 2008 is probably more realistic to make a mark.
Well, congratulations on a very successful program, and we really do hope that 2004 and 2008 has someone trading in a red and yellow Hansons for a blue and white and red USA.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.